Walls of 4 seasons lost. In Austin, I stalled, paused. My eyes crawled to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, motives reflected. Often mirrors appear clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, we know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams.
Paradise. Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour, Women Only Wednesday. Coming to you today, talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder. And sorry, I'm not feeling very well right now, but we're going to get through the show. Just waiting on my guy Drew Henthorn for HuskerDrewPicks.com to join me. But last night, of course, we're going to start off with the Thunder and what happened to them last night and in their first summer league game. And of course, we're going to get into detail about Chet and his opening night record that he set. So, but to start everything off, we want to talk about, Drew sent me a thing that Baker Mayfield is now with the Panthers. So I want to congratulate him that he finally is found a place to go. So I'm excited about Baker because I think that that was a travesty of what they had done to him, and I'm gonna say, was it traded to? They finally traded him. It says for a conditional pick. Okay, let me see. They will split the money, which is what they were looking for. The Browns will pay Mayfield $10 million. The Panthers will pay about $5 million. Also, Mayfield agreed to take a $3.5 million pay cut, which I'm sure what that basically means is that Baker will make that up in incentives. I'm sure exactly how that works. He's not really giving up money, but fine, give up $3 million. He made quite a bit. Why wouldn't you give it up to get a chance to play and be able to make it up in your next year's contract based on what you're going to do this year? So anyway, happy that Baker is finally is out of Brownsville, and that he doesn't have to deal with the nonsense that he's had to deal with there in Cleveland. I'm sure the Browns are equally excited to get rid of Baker. It's not as if the Browns were excuse me. Sorry to tell you I'm not feeling that well, but it's not as if the Browns weren't ready to get rid of him. So that being said, we're going to get into the Thunder and what happened last night. Watch the game, which I'm sure a lot of you probably did. I thought that the first half, I was looking at it, and I think Chet had 13 to start the game or at halftime. As I'm watching it, I was like, okay, well, this is great. But anyway, at halftime, it was the second quarter. Oklahoma City got a score 23-18. 3-point percentage was 25%. Suns was 31. That should be not field goal. That should be a percentage. We had 31 rebounds, so they're 25. And that's the Jazz, not the Suns. I don't even know why I wasn't feeling good. So anyway, that's what it was. Pitch scoring 21-12. Halftime score 47-32. So when I look at this and saw when you break it down, we're back to shooting 25%. So we hadn't got any better from the 3-point line. We hadn't done a lot with that, and that's the issue that we must address. Even though Chet had an outstanding game himself, overall we did not address the one glaring issue that the Thunder have, and that is their 3-point shooting. So, and everybody was all pumped up about the Thunder, and I was excited about seeing them. Almost did a show last night, but I had a few cocktails, so I decided to go ahead and wait till today before I went on air and talked about the game. I thought that, I posted on my Facebook what the starting five was when they had Giddy, Wiggins, Robinson Earl, which all three of them were starters last year. And then, of course, you added uh, Chet and Poku. And I looked at it and I'm like, okay, here are the Twin Towers, I guess the new David Robinson slash Tim Duncan, which I don't even want to say that because that's a slight to both of those guys, considering what they did in San Antonio. And Tim Duncan, of course, being the best power forward of all time, or considered by many to be the greatest power forward of all time. So, and then I noticed that Chet was playing the five, Poku was playing center, and then Wiggins, of course, was point guard, which Josh is our point guard more than Wiggins is, and they had Josh as shooting guard. And that's simply because when SGA comes and during the season, SGA will be our point guard, Josh will be the two. Then the question is, what do you do at the three, whether that's Robinson Earl or whether that's Wiggins. And Wiggins, once again, I'm just going to get into the final score here. Thunder 98, Jazz 77. Oklahoma City had shot 27% from three, 49% from the field, had 58 rebounds. Of course, my favorite, as you all know, was Pip. My points in the paint, Thunder had 54 with 16 turnovers. The Jazz shot 34% from three, 34% field goal, which I thought was interesting that they shot the same percentage from the field that they did from the three. 46 rebounds, 22 points in the paint with 12 TOs, and of course their bench clearly outscored our bench since we only played, I believe it was 8 guys last night. Of course, Trey Mann did not play, and of course he will tonight, which he's going to need to. But the Jazz they're just terrible. And everybody brags about Chad and all this. I'm like, and the Thunder, I'm like, dude, the Jazz are terrible. I can't go, yeah, you had a great game against a terrible team. Woo! I mean, they're terrible. And remember, this is summer league. And look at us. We shot 25% for the half and 27% from three for the game. That's an issue that we must confront, and we did not. So that's something that the Thunder are going to have to address and going to have to change, because we're not going to beat very many teams if we're shooting 25 or 30% from the three. That's just not going to work. So hopefully the Thunder will address that and have addressed it, but we shall see once the season starts. But overall, game one is a hard one for me to judge, simply because I can't really say much about it, because really, the Jazz were terrible. And, Randy, right now we're laughing because we were like, we're going to get all these things. Oh, we're going to go to the finals and all this because of people saying that. And so it's funny that Chet was wearing KD shoes last night. And I'm just laughing because hold on, guys. I'm trying to get the summer schedule here. Let me see. I can pull that up real quick. And anyway, so the Thunder played several games. They played one tonight, which they played games 5, 6, and 7. Of course, tonight the breakdown of schedule. We have Memphis tonight, so we're going to get a good taste of exactly what the Thunder are going to be able to do against a team that's athletic, because Memphis is athletic as comes. So we'll get a chance to really see what the Thunder really can and can't do for the summer. So anyway, Memphis Grizzlies tonight. Tomorrow against the 76ers. They're not very good. And remember, these are going against guys that are first rookies and then first-year players, which is why Josh is playing. But you could look at Josh last night and you could tell. Giddy, he was like, yeah, what the hell am I out here? These guys are terrible. And most of these guys he's playing against are not going to be in the league. He knows that, so he's just kind of going, "Why am I here?" But he's a first-year player, which is why he was a rookie or second-year player. And remember, the summer league is all rookies are first year or second-year players. So rookies and second-year players, and that's why you played Robinson Earl, you played Wiggins, and you played Poku, and you played because I think it was Poku's second year, wasn't it? I think it's his second year, going into his third. So anyway, he can play, and I guess you can kind of pick, but I think they wanted to give us a preview of what we were going to see with Poku and Chet next to each other. And not a lot has changed with me as far as Poku concerned. He's the same guy he was before. Not that impressed. I'm like, all right, yeah, fine, whatever. Was kind of over him. Chet, on the other hand, did play well. Nice step back. He shot the three very well. He blocked some shots, and one of them was one shot they posted. I'm like, did he block the shot with the guy on the way up? It wasn't like he met him at the rim. He was doing like this. He was this far into the rim. I'm like, and that's the kind of stuff that people get all excited about. I'm like, I don't get excited about that crap. I mean, that was a nice block, but that wasn't like he went down and tried to dunk on him, and he met him over the rim, at the rim. That would have been impressive. But the guy was still on his way up when he met him, which meant that the guy was taking off too soon or too late. If you take off sooner than that, you've already reached your height by the time you're coming down. And it's like I tell people, the key to dunking is really simple. You have to take off and extend. So you have to take off a little early, reach the maximum of your height, and then be able to reach and finish and punch through. If you dunk late, the ball tends to either hit the rim or you bounce off the back because you jump too late. And last night was too late. But that being said, I was okay, but I wasn't overly excited about what happened. But here is the final box score. You can see Josh had 14 points on 55% field goal shooting. He's improved at three-point, if you want to look at that, 33%. He had 5 rebounds, 4 turnovers, 11 assists, which is what Josh, he had a couple of dimes last night that were, oh, man, what passes. He had in-traffic bounce passes on the move, and then he had one nice little cross-court pass that was really nice. But anyway, 2 blocks. Wiggins, 5 points, 100% field goal percentage. 3-point percentage, he was had 0% 3-point percentage. Rebounds, he had 3. Turnovers, 0. Assists, 0. Blocks, 1. Robinson Earl, on the other hand, had 9 points, 66% field goals, 0% 3-point, but he went 0 for 2 from 3. So hits the donut right there. 10 rebounds, no turnovers, 2 assists, 0 blocks. Poku, 11 points, 30% field goal, 20% from 3, 4 rebounds, 3 turnovers, 2 assists. Typical Poku. That's what we've come to see and notice, and that's typical game for him and what he normally does. It's just Poku, and that's what we see. Holmgren, on the other hand, 23 points, 77% field goal shooting, 66% from 3. Both of those will not stand and will not stay. So those are inflated numbers, but he did really, really do good, did well in his first outing. 7 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 4 assists, and, of course, the NBA record for rookies with 6 blocks. Dang, on the other hand, had 10 points, 26% field goal percentage, once again, 11%, 3. And you can see Chet, 66%. Other than that, Jalen Williams versus Jalen. But anyway, Dang, 11% from 3, 4 rebounds, 1 turnover, 1 assist. Jalen, with L-E-N, was 17 points, 72% field goal percentage, 100% from 3, 5 ribbies, 3 turnovers, 0 assists, 0 blocks. And, of course, Jalen, L-I-N, only had 2 points, 16% field goal percentage, which is, typical rookie, was definitely nervous, with 6 rebounds, 3 turnovers, and 3 assists. And then, of course, Omiori, 7 points, 66% from the field, with 4 rebounds, 0 turnovers, 0 assists, and 0 blocks. So when you look at this and you see what the box score was, and you look at what these guys did, the Thunder have to get better. These are against a terrible team. These aren't very good numbers, to be honest. These are not good numbers when you look at that. Now, Giddy 55%, Chet 77, Robinson Earl 66, and Jalen 72%. And of course, Armin Yuri 66. But when you look at that, it's like, okay, those numbers, they're inflated, but they were a garbage team. And you look at that, and it's like, man, okay, tonight you have the Grizzlies. So you're going to see playing against an athletic team that get up and down the court. But of course, I'm looking forward to this weekend, Saturday, when the Rockets and the Thunder meet, and Chet and Jabari go head to head this Saturday night at 7 o'clock. And of course, the Thunder is tonight, 6 p.m. on ESPN2. That's where you're going to watch it. Tomorrow night, it's against the 76ers, which they're not very good. Um, that's on NBA TV tomorrow night. Then, of course, Saturday, the big game, of course, will be on ESPN2. Um, and we'll see what happens with that. So, and of course, my Randy Wright, my boy, of course, he has a stick in there. Yeah, we're going to the finals. Bro, why do you keep doing it? Something is really wrong with you. I really, truly worry about him. I really do. Yeah, we're not going to the finals. Yeah, not with the team we have. Not yet. Is it possible that we can add a piece or two next year that could possibly help us? Sure. Maybe in a couple years. But we're at least 2-3 years away, and it's just going to depend on what Presti did in this draft, because last year, of course, you had Robinson Earl, you had Wiggins, you had Josh Giddey, and you had Trey Mann last year. And Trey and Josh both, of course, averaged double figures. The other two were 9 and 7, I believe, or something like that. So the other two played well, and I look at Robinson Earl, he did what he did. So I was excited about that. But uh, that being said, let me go into our boy Drew Henthorne's picks. For HuskerDrewPicks.com, he had the Braves at minus 165, the Brewers minus 275, my Yanks minus 200, and the Dodgers minus 300. There were some great games last night. I was excited to watch baseball. Max Scherzer came in and he lost 1-0 for the Mets last night with 11 Ks, and of course got beat by the Reds, and the Reds are terrible. But he looked really well, but they gave him 0 runs and 0 help. So, but anyway, Drew, he's on his Braves. They are just on fire right now. I still think he likes the Brewers simply because he wants to go to Milwaukee and have a couple cocktails, a couple handcrafted beers. That's why I really think he wants to go there. Of course, Yankees. If you've never been to the new Yankee Stadium, it's something that you do. And then, of course, the Dodgers and Chavez Ravine, one of the most awesome places to watch a game. But if you've missed any of our shows before, you can go to www.mcsportsnetwork.com and you can go click on that after the storm, the Unpopular Hour, and you can go and watch any of our shows on that. And I highly recommend that you do that. And then remember, we're also on YouTube, so you sign into YouTube, you search for OKC Thunder, uh, excuse me, after the storm dash OKC Thunder, and that will pull that up, or the Unpopular Hour dash Matt Clark, and that will pull those up, and then you can just go ahead, like, subscribe, and if you hit notifications every time we come on, it will give you a notification letting you know that we are available. Then, of course, I want to thank my guys at YNB, family owned and operated since 1912, the bank that makes things happen. If you want to qualify for any loan online, please do so at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com for anything that you need as far as car loans, housing. If you want a construction, if you want to go in and buy some houses and redo them, then by all means go and do that, because they are perfect for that sort of thing. That's www.ynbok.com, the bank that makes things happen. And then also my guys at Collaborative Logic, if you have any IT needs or anything like that, those guys are the ones you want to go talk to. My guy Russell will afford over there. Of course, Mark Long at SRB if you have any engineering, surveying, and planning. My guy Jose Fierro at Oak Grove Trucking, and of course Greg and Max Mayfield. I want to thank all of them for their sponsorship and their help in making this go on. So, that being said, remember Thunder on tonight against Memphis Grizzlies, ESPN2 at 6 o'clock. I'm going to be looking forward to watching that. But right now, I'm about to throw up. So I appreciate you guys watching the show today. Sorry I wasn't my normal enthusiastic, fun self. But I wanted to come on and I wanted to talk about Baker Mayfield and the news of him going to the Panthers, and then talk about the Thunder and what happened last night in Chet Holmgren's debut. And if you hadn't seen, here's the box scores once again. So you can go and you can look and see that Chet had 23 points, 77% field goal shooting, 66% from three, with 7 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 4 assists, and of course the record 6 blocks. And then of course Giddy, you could just tell he was just like, what am I doing out here? It was pretty funny watching him. You could just tell he was not interested in being out there at all. So that's the breakdown of what happened last night. As you can see here, all the other guys. If you want to look through real quick and see what happened with these guys and what the box score looked like. But overall, when you look at the Thunder, um, when you look at the Thunder, 27% field goal, 3-point shooting, 49% from the field, 58 rebounds, 54 points in the paint, which I like that number right there. 16 turnovers, however, I did not like that. We need to be at around 12 if we're really going to be competitive. You can't be at 16 turnovers. The Jazz, but they're just terrible. I can't really dictate how well we played simply because they are so terrible that just watching them was just hard to do. So, that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching this edition of the Unpopular Women Only Wednesday. Uh, Please, like I said, you can go to excuse me. You can go to www.mcsportsnetwork.com if you want to watch any of our other shows. I would appreciate you doing that. And then, of course, that's www.mcsportsnetwork.com. Like I said, you can go in there, you can click on it, and then you can watch any of our shows, and we would appreciate that. So, that being said, everybody be safe out there. Try to stay cool. It's hot in the mother. Everybody be safe and be cool. Thank you for watching the Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesday. Once again, I'm your host, Matt Clark, and I am done for the day.